There's a quiet power hidden inside every book, not because pages contain magic, but because reading has the ability to reshape your mind, slowly, silently, and permanently. And today, we're going to explore how books can actually make you smarter, and what being smart really means. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's begin. Intelligence is not a gift, it's a construction. People often imagine intelligence as something fixed. You either have it or you don't. But real intelligence is built, layer by layer. It's one of the most efficient tools for constructing it is reading. Books force your brain to process complex ideas, create mental pictures, connect concepts, and store new patterns. Every chapter acts like mental training without the sweat, but with the same level of intensity. Reading expands the limits of your thinking. When you read, you're not just absorbing sentences, you're borrowing someone else's mind. You gain access to perspectives you would never have discovered on your own. A book can introduce you to a new way to solve problems, a mindset you never considered a historical lesson. You've never been taught a language of ideas you didn't know existed, and as you read, your brain learns flexibility. You become someone who can switch angles, analyze more clearly, and understand more deeply. That's intelligence in action. Books improve your ability to focus, a skill most people are losing. We live in a world designed to fracture your attention. Notifications, dopamine loops, constant scrolling. Reading does the opposite. It strengthens your ability to stay with a single idea for minutes, sometimes hours. This deep focus is one of the rarest modern skills, and anyone who masters it stands out, professionally, emotionally, and intellectually. When you read regularly, you're not just learning things, you're training your mind to stay sharp. Reading expands your vocabulary, and vocabulary expands your mind. Every new word gives you a new tool for thinking. For example, if you don't have the word nuance, it's hard to recognize nuance. If you don't know resilience, you struggle to name it, even if you feel it. The brain thinks through language. The more words you have, the more accurately you can understand the world. Books quietly build this mental toolbox. And intelligence is, in many ways, the ability to articulate what others only feel. Reading strengthens memory and mental structure. Books require you to follow a sequence, events, ideas, arguments. You store information, organize it, connect it. This is memory training disguised as entertainment. When you read a lot, you begin to notice something interesting. You remember more details in life, not just in books. Your mind becomes more structured. Ideas become easier to retrieve. Your recall becomes faster. It's like upgrading your mental operating system. Reading gives you access to expertise you could never afford in real life. Think about it. You can learn psychology, philosophy, finance, communication, creativity, neuroscience directly from the greatest minds in history for the price of a book, or sometimes for free. You don't need a professor next to you. You don't need to be born in a privileged environment. Books democratize intelligence. They bring the world to you if you're willing to open the cover. Reading boosts emotional intelligence, the underrated superpower. Being smart isn't only about logic or memory. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand yourself and others, is just as important. Reading, especially fiction, develops empathy. You step into different lives. You witness emotions you've never felt. You understand conflicts you've never experienced. This depth of perspective makes you wiser, more patient, more aware, more human. And that, too, is intelligence. The secret ingredient, reading consistently. Here's the truth. Reading 2 books in 1 week won't change your life. Reading 2 books every month for 2 years absolutely will. Consistency transforms reading from an activity into a habit, and from a habit into a cognitive advantage. The more you read, the faster you read. The faster you read, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more curious you become. And curiosity is the fuel of intelligence. How to read in a way that makes you smarter. You don't need to read fast. You don't need to take notes. You don't need to treat reading like school. You only need to read with presence. Here are 3 simple principles. Choose books that challenge you just a little. Not enough to overwhelm you, but enough to stretch your mind. Pause when something resonates. Let the idea breathe. Let it sink in. Stay curious, not rigid. Intelligence grows when you explore, not when you force. A book is not a race. It's a conversation. A silent transformation. If you make reading a part of your life, something profound happens. You start thinking differently, speaking differently, understanding differently. People will notice your clarity, your calm, your depth, not because you became smart overnight, but because you've been cultivating your mind page by page. Reading doesn't just make you smarter. It makes you more you. If this video inspired you, take a moment to like it, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a little spark of motivation today. And remember, intelligence is not something you're born with. It's something you build. One book, one insight, one page at a time.